Hi, my friends. Today we're going to be looking at GitHub. This is the GitHub website opened right here, github.com. Now, for those of you that are not signed up on GitHub, you just have to navigate to this website and you should be able to create an account. Okay, so GitHub is simply a hosted version of Git, right? I mean, to make it simple, but of course, it has even more features, right? It has a lot of features, but it aids collaboration, right? Which means you can have multiple people having access to that repository, pushing changes, and of course reviewing the code there as well. Yeah, you can basically glance through this website to see more details about how GitHub can be helpful to you. It is one of the most used. I would say it is the most used and the most popular version control service, hosted service basically online, with millions of users. Okay, so let's go ahead and create an account. If you already have an account, just head on to sign in. But if you don't have an account, click on sign up. When you click on sign up, you should be able to create your account from here. So I'm going to put in my email. Let's just put some random password. So right now it says I already have an account with this email, of course, but you can just proceed to put your password, set up a username. Let's say user 101987. Okay, so you can just put in your username. Make sure you're using an account that is not used. As you can see, this is already used. Okay, so click on continue. Setting up an account is quite easy and straightforward. When you are done creating an account, I would recommend you set up what we call multi-factor authentication. You can check out a few videos on how to do that. So let's say youtube.com, how to set up MFA on GitHub. Okay, so we're not going to cover that in this video, but you can basically follow this video. This is a good one. All right, so you can follow this video from GitHub, right, to learn how to set up 2FA on your account. All right, so that is it. Let's proceed to check out an account when you're already signed in. So this is my personal account. You have your feeds right here. You also have the co-pilot option here. You can simply search and ask questions. This is quite new. Okay, so right here you can see your profile information, so you can click on this to see your profile information. You can check out your profile, your repositories, your co-pilot, your projects, your stars, so your organization. This is basically your set of activities right going on here. Okay, and on this side you basically see your top repositories, right, and your recent activities right here as well. Okay, and your teams, so you can basically see your teams right here, right? So I can create an organization from here. Okay, let's try to create let's go ahead and create a new repository. So I can click on new repository. By the way, there is a feature called code space, that gives you the ability to code online, right, via GitHub. So if I open this in a new tab, let's wait for that to show. I'm going to have other videos explaining how to work with organizations, projects, and gists. For now, we're just going to stick to creating repositories, pushing code to that repository, as well as pulling code from that repository. So we're going to stick to that for this first video. Okay, by the way, I mentioned code space earlier, so you can simply select the repository that you want to load in your code space. Let me try to look for a simple repo from here. Let's see, I have a lot of repos here basically. So yeah, this is a simple style. I don't know what that is, but let's click on that. Okay, so let's go with the staging branch. I think that is the only branch we have there. Specify the region, US. Let's go with US East. Machine type to core. Okay, create code space. All right, so similar to what you have, such as Google Colab, right? You have such environment here where you can basically write code. Okay, so back to creating a repository. I have to put in the repository name. Okay, so let's say a simple Python app, right? So it's going to check the availability to make sure you don't have another project with exactly the same repository name. Then for the description, I would just say simple Python app used to teach GitHub functionalities. Okay, so you can create a public or a private repository. Okay, so let's just click on public. That is selected already. When you select git ignore, you're simply telling GitHub to help you create the git ignore file. The git ignore file will basically specify the items that should be ignored by Git. If you're building a node application, for example, you set node, and node would automatically create a git ignore for things like node modules, env files, and some other things there. Yeah, for Python you can just specify Python. It will also, I think you have something like this. So if I specify Python right here and I create that repository, it's going to give me a .gitignore file. Yeah, so you have specific items like this. I mean, it's a lot here, but these are things you definitely don't want to push to Git. Okay, so let's go back one step. I'm going to copy the URL here. I'm going to pull up my terminal. So let's create a project. This is a simple Python app. Let's simply create a project with same name on our machine. All right, so I have my terminal pulled up here. I'm going to navigate to desktop. Let's make a new folder. So I'm going to say make directory, simple Python app. Okay, so let's jump into that directory. Yeah, so let's print, or let's simply call hello world, just like this. Okay, so if we run that now, we have hello world returned here. Okay, so we're going to initialize a Git repository here. Now we have a new repository. What I'm going to do is simply to add this origin. Remember the origin we created earlier, which is this. Let's copy that URL. I would say git add remote, or git remote, sorry, add origin. So let's paste that origin. I'm going to add everything we have in that folder. So git commit, initial commit, just like this. Okay, so when I try to push, it's going to ask me to set up the upstream. Now it's basically using main, it's basically using master, which of course you can convert to main if you prefer to use main. So I have that code pushed up here. You can see there's a recent push. Let's refresh. You will not see that within master, rather you would see that in main. Okay, you will not see that within main, rather you would see that within master. Okay, so we have our file here. We've been able to push that code base to GitHub right here. Yeah, and if you simply click on this file, you would see your code in here. Okay, all right, so that is basically how to push code to GitHub. We have other features here that I would want us to explore. So for example, we have issues, we have pull requests, we have actions. We are going to explore those in other videos. First things first, if you are working on a code base and you decide to work with other branches, you can simply use some of the command we've explored before, such as git branch. So you see we have master. Now we can say git branch dev, right? And we can say git checkout dev. Okay, so in here we have that file because we checked out from the main. So I can simply say git push. Git push is going to push this specific branch to the web as well, which is to GitHub. So if I push this to GitHub right now, I can refresh and I would see that branch pushed right here. Okay, so let me click on this now and I would see dev. Let's do that again. I would see dev. So right here I can see the file that we just pushed within the dev, and I can basically make adjustments in dev that is not going to reflect in the master branch, just like we have seen before in the previous video, which is when we taught you how to use Git. Okay, so I can make an adjustment right now. I can simply pull this up in VS Code again. Let's proceed to add a new file. I'll say dev main .py. Okay, let's just say dev hello world, return dev hello world, just like this. So let's say print dev hello world. All right, so if I say python dev hello world, python dev main, we have dev hello world printed. Okay, so if I say git status, you can see git add, that should be a dot like this. Okay, so we have an error. That is because I'm using the wrong command. It is git, not got. Okay, so git commit added dev main file to the project. Okay, so I can push, and when I make this push, I basically see that file within the dev branch and not the master branch. So if I click on the dev branch, I would see that file in here, dev main. So if I want to put that within the master branch, I can simply say git checkout master and git merge dev before I push. So right now it shows that we are fast forward here by bringing in dev main.py, and it shows one file was changed. We have 4 insertions, and there was a create mode, and there was a file created here with this create mode. So now that I've pushed this, I can simply come back here, navigate to the master branch, and I would see that specific file that we created. Okay, so this is basically how to work with your repositories, push, pull files, how you can simply push and pull files within your GitHub repository, right? In other videos, we would explore issues, pull requests, actions, projects, wikis, and more. All right, so thanks for watching. I would see you next time.